Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Inspiration Report. We're super excited to have you here this morning. We're going to get started in just a couple of seconds. Grab yourself a morning beverage, and let's get ready to be inspired. All right, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Inspiration Report. Good morning, fellas. What's up?
Dude, good
Hey,
morning.
how's it going?
Good. How are you all doing today? Ready for another fun Inspiration Report, I hope?
Super excited.
Dude, it's the beginning of the holiday season, okay? Let's be honest. How can anybody not be excited right now?
Oh, yeah, I saw your Facebook
Right?
post. You're already listening to Christmas music. I know you are. I'm.
And yes, and we have started two trees. The girls are coming home from college. We have two Christmas trees up. The
Wow.
tinsel's not there, but the trees and the lights are.
The
So
spirit
we're
is
ready to
there,
go.
though. Yeah, I just saw the trailers for both the new Christmas Story and the new Santa Claus stuff coming out on HBO and Disney Plus. Super stoked about those.
I
Classic,
am too. I
classic
think it's
stories.
brilliant.
Never gets old.
Yes.
Never gets old. All right, so we're going to jump right into it. We're going to do a little inspiration in a box to get you out, to help see outside of yours. Before we get started, though, we always like to talk about kind of our situation here. We are the modern day Wayne and Garth. We are broadcasting from our basement, and that's what's happening, right? We do our very best to not have too many technical difficulties, but Sean, we know that we have some every now and then. So far so good this morning. Everything looks great, and looks like we got some good crowd out there too. So welcome everyone. Just to go over the rules really quick, you guys know these if you've ever been into a brainstorm that we've done before, very similar. We want to keep the conversation positive and open-minded, especially on the chat. We want to make sure everybody shares the air. Of course, be respectful to everyone in the chat. And we want you to build and yes and. So if you hear something or see something that inspires you, yes and it, and let's see what kind of inspiration we can all kind of leave together with. Of course, pay it forward. We have a link tree that has all the links to all the articles on it that Jose will be sharing at the end. And we want to have a little bit of fun. You guys ready to have a little bit of fun? Yeah.
Please, let's have
Whoop,
some
whoop.
fun.
Whoop, whoop. All right.
Whoop, whoop.
So, without further ado, we should get going. Jose, I'm going to send you up into the cloud here, and
See you, Jose.
we will see
Later,
you in a
guys.
few. Keep track of the chat for us, and let us know if there's anything we should be calling out. All right, Sean.
Will do, will do.
I believe that you are first up.
Fantastic. So Mother Nature has finally entered the corporate world and has a seat on a board of directors. I thought this was really brilliant. So a skincare beauty products company called Faith in Nature, they have actually utilized certain legal rights and have human representative speaking on behalf of nature, helping to guide the principles of their company. The brand has worked with the leading environmental and corporate lawyers to turn an idea into reality and have now officially amended their company constitution to include nature as a director with
Wow.
all the same voting rights as any other company director.
Wow.
Nature will be represented through a proxy role whereby a human who is legally bound to speak on behalf of the natural world acts
So
on
it's the
behalf of nature.
Lorax. Basically, the Lorax is speaking on behalf of the trees, right?
Yes, that is it. That is it. I mean, I've never seen this anything like this before, right? But
Yeah,
holy
but
smoke, I
talk
just
about
like the
commitment.
inventiveness.
That's making a commitment, right? I mean, a lot of companies talk this sustainability thing, but these people are actually living it, right?
I have to assume that God, I always forget him, and he's fantastic. His name, the gentleman with Patagonia. He's
Oh yeah,
probably like, why didn't I think of this?
exactly.
Right?
He should have watched the inspiration report, right?
Right. At least maybe for like their winter clothing line, he could put Jack Frost on their board of
Yeah,
directors. Right.
exactly. Yeah, really, really great and inspiring. I hope that more companies do things like this to again showcase their commitment to sustainability. So really
Yep,
great. All right.
agreed.
Next up, let's see what we got here. I don't know how I feel about this one, Sean. This is Getty Images, which houses one of the largest collection of digital images, right? I've not seen the number here, but it's amazing large. It's basically joins artist-centric sites and art collectors in putting their foot down on AI images. So, we've covered here the Dolly site that we covered. I forget some of the names of the other one. Basically, you can generate your own AI images using artwork, using words, using a combination of things, and basically make your own online art, right? But they're saying that
Right.
we're not going to, it's fine with altered photos and artistic images so long as they were created by human hands, they say. So deep fakes in their eyes are no longer desired. Fakes are now forlorn, and any AI originated content will be ostracized from the image hosting Getty Images site. So, again, I'm
That's
not.
quite the word from the Getty, isn't it?
Yeah,
Ostracized.
to me it's like they're taking a big stance on this, but it's kind of like they're saying, hey, your AI art isn't legit. And I can just remember back in the days when Photoshop first started, people didn't want to see altered images on Photoshop, or even when Toy Story came out, the animation world was up in arms because they were cheating, right? So, it's
Right.
kind of a fine line, right? What do you think, Sean?
I think this is another. Granted, it's. I can understand the complication here, right? But at the end of the day, I see this as another example of a super large company, right? Global brands, been around for a long time. They are probably one of the largest, if not one of the top resources for licensed material, and
Yeah,
they're fighting evolution. They don't like
I
it,
mean,
so
yeah.
they're going to fight it.
It might what do you call it, come back to backfire on it, but who knows, maybe they're really just trying to keep their collection, and maybe they're trying to be sustainable by not having another server to hold the files. I don't
Yeah, good point. Good point.
know.
And you know what I just thought of, Lee, is what does this also mean for like Jostens and high school senior photos? Like, will everyone now be able to AI create their own like high school senior photo? They actually don't have to stand in front of a camera.
That's awesome. That's the future,
That's why we
man.
go
It's
back
gonna
to
happen.
Sean Brown and cheese.
Yeah, you're gonna be able to do that
Right?
while you're riding in your flying car. I'm pretty guaranteed. Sean Brown and cheese.
Exactly.
Hey,
Actually,
hey,
I put
hey
that.
guys,
Yeah, go for it, Jose. Let's see what you got.
just a quick note. There's also another news from a few days ago that Damien Hirst, an artist from London, burns his artworks after collectors decided to take the NFTs instead of his actual real work. He burned
Oh,
10,000 of his pieces just to represent how society has changed, and they decided to go with the NFT instead of a real image.
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
Very interesting.
it is interesting. It reminds me of how much Metallica freaked out as soon as digital music came out. Right? They were really up in arms about their music being out digitally, and I see both sides on this, but I don't know. I don't know if you can stop the future. You can fight
I
it.
would agree.
You can fight it. I actually have an old cassette tape that basically on the outside of the cassette tape there's a sticker that somebody slapped on it saying cassettes are ruining the music industry. So they thought that back in the
Hilarious.
they thought it back in the 70s too. So all right.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
we have JTM saying, "Will Getty learn the old adage, adapt or die?"
Yeah.
Hello, Blockbuster here. And Len says AI art will eventually become commonplace. I feel this is just part of growth. I also
Yeah.
agree with that.
Yeah. Again, it'll be interesting. We're at a transitionary phase right here. Let's see how it works. All right,
Man,
Sean.
I could totally keep brainstorming that. Like, so last thought, last one. Like, all of a sudden, artwork in your home becomes dynamic, and anyone that enters your home can create artwork by talking to it.
Right.
And so your artwork constantly changes depending on your
Oh,
mood, how
I
you
love
feel,
it.
what you want to see, right?
Yeah.
like Harry Potter style? That would be great.
Yeah.
Yes, totally.
I love it. All right,
Cool.
tell us a little bit about MasterCard.
Okay, so I love going to ANA, Association of National Advertisers. They have a Masters of Marketing conference. Lots of
Yeah, and I
engineering
knew
there.
you were going to bring some good stuff back from that because there had to be some great stuff there.
There was, and actually there was there was one presentation. We're holding it because we want to see if we can get their CMO to come on the show to talk about it, and it is off the
Nice.
chart. So we'll tease you with that. But the CMO for MasterCard, and I'm probably not pronouncing his name properly, Rajamanar, he presented the case study, and MasterCard did a lot of work on this. This was not a quick reaction or guessing on a quick fix, right? Great design thinking case study. But the whole situation is that basically the couple lines from the article, approaching a register to pay for a morning coffee for many probably feels routine. The transaction likely takes no more than a few seconds. Reach into your wallet, pull out your cards. But for customers who are visually impaired, the process of paying can be more difficult. And what Raja was explaining is, for whatever reason, the credit cards are moving away from embossed numbers. So folks that are visually impaired can't determine what cards do they have. So MasterCard worked with the Royal National Institute of Blind People in the UK and Visions Services for the Blind and Visually Impaired in the US. And for the 3 different types of cards that MasterCard offers, credit, debit, and ATM, they put a different type of notch in the top so they can be identified for folks that are visually impaired.
That's amazing.
Brilliant.
It is really. Right? It's such a simple thing too.
So simple. And I know we have a video to show, Lee. The thing where I get torn on this is, I mean, they put a lot of time and effort into it, right? They went to very official organizations to get input, and I love the detail that they went to. But does the prototyping and evolution to what the marketplace needs, does it have to take that long, or was that required? Right. That's the one part I get hung up on. But okay. Brilliant solution for a need.
All right, you want to see the video?
Roll that beautiful bean footage.
Okay, here we go.
This commercial was designed with audio description for people who are blind or partially sighted, so more people can experience it. A red-haired woman holds a white cane and feels her way down apartment steps. She strolls past a man scrubbing his vintage sports car.
Love the music, Rick.
Good morning, Marjorie.
Good morning.
Marjorie tilts her head. What's that sound? A shopping cart?
Hey, Marjorie.
It's her friend on a skateboard.
Hey, Marcus.
Nearby, kids play soccer. Marjorie steps into a tiny cafe.
Hey, Marjorie.
Hi, Mayuki. Vanilla latte, please.
Okay, $4.50.
Someone shuffles impatiently behind her. Marjorie isn't flustered. Her cards used to feel the same, but touch cards from MasterCard have distinct notches for debit, credit, and prepaid. She feels a half hexagon, her credit card. She taps a terminal and takes her latte.
Thank you.
She steps outside and strides away from us. Touch cards appear, each with a distinct notch. Introducing Touch Card by MasterCard. Because a world designed for all of us is priceless. The word priceless comes up next to the MasterCard.
Definitely priceless. Good one, Sean. Thanks so much for putting that in there.
You bet, buddy. Yep, I loved it a lot. I thought it was great. And also, I loved the commercial that they did. That the copy and the way it was written and the way that it worked for visually impaired was really interesting too.
Definitely. Jose, anything going on in the chat we should come back to you for?
Yes. I love that the ad includes the verbal descriptions for visually impaired. That's awesome. It's so simple. It really represents like how they just focus on one thing to also kind of like people that actually can see, they can relate to the situation. You know, it's just focused on one person, just one light, the bird at the end. It just like, for me, it's amazing. And I never thought that some company like MasterCard could actually get to use to such an emotion. So that's great.
Yeah.
Right.
Super cool.
Totally agree.
All right, Sean. Sometimes you really find some really great stuff here, Sean, and it's only because it's so technologically awesome. I love the line though.
Mind blowing.
So October 22 in Paris, the performance at the end of the fashion show on Friday offered the internet's favorite things: a nearly naked supermodel, 1990s fashion nostalgia, and a high-ranking member of the Kardashian-Jenner family in the vicinity to bear witness. But this particular stunt for many people in the crowd was genuinely impressive. For about 9 minutes, they watched a white off-the-shoulder dress being sprayed on to Bella Hadid's body. The substance, a patented spray-on fabric developed by a London-based company called Fabrican, looked like spider webs at first until the fibrous layers thickened, instantly drying into a pebbled fabric and effectively mummifying the model. So there's really no more excuse for I can't find something that fits, because you could just spray it on, you know?
Absolutely.
And,
Yep.
and again, this
Spray it right on.
it reminds me of Brave New World, of the shower, what do you call it, conveyor belt thing in Brave New World, right? So this is, hey, I can't figure out what to wear. I just walk into a little chamber, get sprayed on, walk to work. Right after that. This is incredible. Okay.
I'm excited to show the video. Like we cannot do justice talking about it. It just really bends your thought about what happens in the fashion industry and just the availability of instant available anything to enhance, your fashion, your day-to-day fabric for furniture. Who knows?
And just so you know, this is not like going to the fair and seeing somebody who's painted on their stuff at the fair or the beach or something like that. This is actual 3D printed style of dress creation. So I can't do it justice. I'm going to just roll a video. You ready, Sean?
And Lee, yeah, I'm ready. And just like you also say, and not like going to NASCAR where people have painted NASCAR numbers on their chest.
Not that there's anything wrong with that, of course, but
Nope.
This is definitely different.
Nope, Jay Hatcher, it's totally fine.
Okay, here we go. There it is.
Oh my God, I laughed so hard at Sacagawea.
Yeah. But the whole time I'm thinking, how do they take this dress off? And basically it says the dress can be taken off just like any other tight, slightly stretchy one, a process of peeling off and shimmying out. It could be hung and washed or put back, it says, or put back into the bottle of its original solution to regenerate, according to their chief executive. So pretty interesting, right? Interesting future of fashion.
Really,
I mean,
interesting.
this could actually work if I forgot my swim trunks on vacation, kind of thing. So Lenny, there is a reason. We could have some spray-on swim trunks for you, no problem.
Well, and what I said Lee, is I want to see the version for myself of what is spray-on baggy sweatpants look like.
Exactly.
That's what I need.
Spray on baseball cap.
Right, right.
Oh, Jose, we have to come back to you because there's too much fun happening in that chat right now.
Yeah. You know how words change throughout time?
Uh-huh.
We have here Pro Fastless saying it gives a whole new meaning to the comments. What the heck? Did they just spray those pants on?
Why, yes, they did.
They actually did.
Oh, wow.
Juliet says, you do need to have anything hanging in your closet, which is good because it makes room for a couple of guys with spray cans standing in there. You do gotta feed them with some spray cans, I guess. I don't know.
I love that.
Oh, this is great
That's
stuff.
great.
You can't make this stuff up, man. That's why I love this report. All right, tell us why we need this.
Yeah, so from our great friend, Mr. Barry Jacobson.
Excellent. Thank you, Barry.
Yep, thank you, Barry. And so I took this one because I am a partial Ironman animatronic with 2 hip replacements. And so this is one company that the whole world of joint replacements is incredibly monopolized by 3 or 4 companies.
Okay.
And what I love about the article, can I find it really quick? Oh yeah, we're living in the 21st century, but what do we see? Crude and finicky instruments are the tools of choice. Saws, hammers, and jigs, along with cemented generic implants that don't always fit right and that can crack and loosen over time. The prospect of putting that in your body isn't very exciting. So what this company is doing, which they're taking the evolution of tech and applying it to joint replacement. So they're doing incredibly thorough 3D individual body scan, right? Or CT scan, and then they are 3D printing the components based on the size of the person.
Wow.
And so the components are obviously better fitting. The invasive procedure is still kind of invasive, but it's supposed to just work better because it's all customized to the individual. And that is brilliant. Last thing here, the failure rate, and this is pretty high, I think, because you don't want to be the person that has it. So the failure rate for knee replacements is just about 10%. And then it's double digits for hip replacements.
Wow.
So you have to go back for it. It ain't fun.
Yeah.
Pretty interesting.
I'm really trying to avoid the whole thing, Sean. After I turned 55, I decided I'm going to really take good care of my knees, my hips, and my back. Because once you start down that path, forever will dominate your destiny. You know?
Absolutely.
So
I wonder if we'll see the $6 Million Man show come back.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I wish they'd actually remake that because it's really hard to watch the old version. I tried. It's hard to watch.
Yeah.
It's not as much as I remember as an 11-year-old.
Right.
All right, here's another great one. I love it when people come up with creative ways to do stuff that they're probably already doing anyway. In merely 4 hours, over 60 fishermen on 30 boats removed almost 3 tons of plastic from the ocean. It basically, the Gulf of Mexico hosts some of the highest concentration of marine plastic in the world. And Corona recently held a plastic fishing contest in Mexico, so it's popular to have a fishing tournament, etc. A lot of people go to them. There's a whole circuit of people that go. The tournament was carried out in partnership with local recycling company Mexico Reciclia. Did I pronounce that right? I hope. And it challenged local fishermen to retrieve plastic from the ocean in exchange for cash prizes. In just 4 hours, they came up with 3 tons of stuff. So first place was awarded to a boat that collected 320 kilos of waste and received 640 euros, which is roughly $600. So a really, really great thing. Thanks for finding this, Sean. Again, what it seems like we could do this anywhere that they have a bass fishing tournament, a mahi fishing tournament, whatever there may be, right? Let's go ahead and do this in conjunction, right?
It is the spoonful of sugar makes the medicine go down strategy, right?
Yep.
Gamification.
Yeah.
The gamification, ocean cleaning. Like, I totally would have done this.
Oh, yeah.
I probably would have had half my boat filled with Bud Light cans for myself, but at least that's aluminum and it's easily recyclable.
Yes,
right?
yes.
I love this.
Every year I go to the Florida Keys in my boat. I actually, when I go to the sandbar, I do this test and I collect basically all of the bottles and bottle caps on the bottom. And it's funny because the majority of bottle caps that you collect on the sandbar are Corona caps, which means Corona has done a really great job identifying their brand because everybody wants to drink a Corona out there. But for them to kind of pay it forward by asking everybody who enjoys their brand, go out and clean up the earth. It's pretty great. Plus, it's another excuse to stay on your boat for another day. That's always a great excuse, Sean.
Right.
So
That is really interesting, though, Lee, what you just said of what a unique opportunity of collecting marketplace data,
yeah,
right? The fact that
exactly.
you noticed the majority are Corona, like that's really interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, super cool. Super cool. All right, next up, Rotes. Is that how you pronounce this?
Sounds good to me. Rotes. So the whole notion here is that this company, Rotes out of Amsterdam, they've been in the bike industry for a while, but what they've done, which the picture on the screen left resembles, everything is an interchangeable component. So as one piece starts to break down or not work right, you don't have to get a new bike. And this is an electric bike. You
Okay.
can just replace the part. Rotes takes the part back. But what is really brilliant, I mean, tech in the simplest of things, right? There are sensors throughout the bike, from the brakes to the tires, that will tell riders and owners when an element needs to be replaced. So
Wow.
the first batch of bikes expected to be available February of 23. They're taking pre-orders, and the pre-order price, it ain't cheap, 3,750 euros for ownership.
Wow. Now, see, if we combine this with the hip replacement thing, that could be really good. Modular
Right.
and have a sensor to tell you when it's wearing out. Come on.
That's right. But then I want like a replacement that has like the jet features of Iron Man, so that it would come out of my feet. Maybe
Yeah.
there's a laser that comes out. Yeah.
You
But
know,
yeah, the component part is brilliant.
to me, I think I mean, I wish they could do this with a car engine too, because there was a time when I wasn't afraid to replace an alternator. It was, 3 screws, and you take it back
Yep.
to AutoZone, and they give you money for, the return. And I don't know, there was but now everything's so complicated, and also nullifies your warranty sometimes when you do that. So this is really interesting DIY thing. Maybe could be the next phase of all kinds of contraptions for us. I wouldn't be taking apart my flying car though. I'll let somebody else do that.
No. Hey, and Lee, I think Jose had another example of components around phones. Can you throw it to him?
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, guys. So this is also a Dutch company. It's called Fairphone, and what they do is they created a modular phone in which, if any of the pieces end up having a malfunction, you just replace it with a screw. Two screws, and you do it. You can do it yourself, and you send the pieces back to them. They recycle it. They're really sustainable. And I think that's amazing. Modularity nowadays is something that we need to consider, not only in technology but to ourselves. And there's a very, very funny comment here of Liz saying, "Oh, this is interesting. Will it have a check engine light I can actually ignore for a bit?"
For a bit over, like I have one that's on for 6 months now, Liz. So I know exactly what you're talking about. That's
It'll
awesome.
actually be a check non-engine light, since there technically is no engine, right?
Well, thanks for that example, Jose. That was awesome. Super cool.
It's great.
All right. Okay, Sean, this one is amazing. So, first of all, when I read this article, it's like 6 pages, right? When I read this article, all I could think about was this is already being done, and the Rolling Stones have exclusivity on this already, right? Because basically, 15 years ago, the Japanese scientists made skin cells become young again. So now they're basically at the testing stage, and multiple biotech companies are making old animals more youthful. So they created this in a petri dish. Researchers use a procedure that can take withered skin cells from a 101-year-old, and rewind them so they act as if they never aged at all. But the practical application of this is basically youthful cells have more resilience and can bounce back from biological stress, and so they're actually practicing it on organs, right? So your
Animals.
kidneys
Yep.
and animals and your liver and stuff like that. So I mean, you could actually live longer because you get a brand new liver that's from, it's not the old liver that you had. So
I guess Pat Sajak also is someone who's using this
Yeah.
successfully.
Yeah.
You did mention the Rolling Stones. Keith Richards clearly is not using this, but he is still alive. Right?
Yeah.
He is still alive.
No, this is like this reminds me of so many science fiction movies, and basically we're all going to be able to live 200 years because of this. So,
And thanks to Francois.
Yeah, Francois from
Right.
South Africa sent us
Yep.
this, and I
for
think
sending
that
this in.
Jose, when Jose points the link tree, you all should go actually read this article because it's really involved and it's about 8 pages long, and there's a lot of big words in there. It's like a medical journal, but it's quite fascinating. So I highly recommend it. But this is the future, y'all. We're going to be replacing our kidneys and livers with younger ones. So
Hey, Lee, I was wondering maybe we could get together. I mean, our schedules are probably really busy. I was thinking maybe 2115, December of 2115, to get together.
Yeah, sure. Let's do it.
We'll be around, right?
Put it on the calendar now. Yeah.
Yeah, perfect.
All right. Next up.
All right, hockey guy. I had to put this in here, even though caveat. Yeah, the Mighty Ducks is cute, but it's not my favorite hockey movie. But still, I had to recognize it. It's this continued gravitation to throwback and recognizing milestones and things. So the 30th anniversary of what is kind of a cultish, popular hockey movie from Disney, The Mighty Ducks, is coming back around, and Disney partnered with Adidas. Adidas is the official, not outfit. Oh my gosh, what is the word for sports teams? But uniform. Jeez,
It's not
it's a
costume.
brutal Friday, everybody. So
It's because
they
you
have
read that article
recreated-
on the last article. That's why your brain's fried from reading that.
That's all right. I'm going to do a shot of that cellular rejuvenation stuff after this presentation. So anyway, the Mighty Ducks shirts and their opponents, the Hawks, their retro jerseys are coming back out. Adidas also is creating a line of sneakers to go with it. And then once again, we continue to see really interesting stuff in the video game world, right, guys?
Yep.
EA Sports, once again, in NHL 23, the jerseys are available for a limited time to put onto the Anaheim and Chicago Blackhawks teams. So I'm also interested in watching this continued interest of stuff being embedded into video games.
Yeah.
It's fascinating, right?
Oh,
So
awesome.
I'm going to read a dictionary real quick before the next story.
I love to watch hockey. I don't actually understand a lot of what's going on, but I love to watch it live, and I love to watch it on TV. Again, I'm just not the biggest hockey fan. I know there's people out there. Sproul Fagilis, for example, he is a huge hockey fan. And I married the only Canadian that is not a hockey fan, believe it or not. So
Really?
yeah, she's
They
starting to
have
get
one
in.
of those?
Actually, she's starting to get into it. And actually, Mighty Ducks is one of her teams too. So that's even more interesting. So
Is she aware her name is literally probably listed with an asterisk in the Canadian census study?
Yes.
Non-hockey Canadian fans, like 4.
Right. All right. Next up. So this is another really great thing. There's an invasive plant that's basically being turned into sustainable charcoal. So the Good Charcoal Company is turning an overgrown bush that's choking the African savanna into something useful. Working closely with local partners in Namibia, the company uses blackthorn acacia for its all-natural hardwood charcoal. No chemicals are used in this production, and as a particularly dense wood, acacia burns at a very high temperature. Cooks thus need less charcoal to improve the optimal cooking temperature. So they are turning this plant that's really taking over and turning it into something useful. And I say, go for it. I wish we could do that with every vine that grows here in Florida. Ugh, I hate vines. They're taking over. Let's turn them into something good.
Taken over. Right?
Oh, this is really good.
I love the continued inventiveness of, like one of the things that was happening around the Gulf of Mexico and Florida is lionfish.
Yep.
And so invasive species, and there was the continued attempts at turning lionfish into a delicacy. right? And
Yeah.
cooking with it. So at least you can catch it and do something with it. So I love the idea of, all right, there's all this stuff that's here. It's the wrong stuff, but what else? How do we repurpose it? What else can we do with it? So
That's awesome. Awesome stuff. Thanks for putting that in.
yeah.
All right.
Sure.
Next up.
So this comes from friend and coworker Becky Olson, and she does proudly walk around with one of these Stanley tumblers. So the Stanley company, and I fell short, I did not look up. I'm wondering if this is the same Stanley company for tools and such, but it is a century-old company, and they created another tumbler, like the world needs another one, right?
Right.
And right. Well, and in 2019, that's kind of what the world was telling them is we really don't need another tumbler. But it would be fascinating to talk with them. I wonder if we could ever get them on the show to talk this case study. But boiling this way down, they literally cannot keep stock of their tumblers anymore on their website. There is a 100-day waiting list for the release of the latest color or modification, but it comes down to 3 people who turned the business around, and the marketing team Tumblr basically narrowed in on an audience, and it became unbelievably popular with teachers and nurses. And then here is the power of social media, social quote unquote influencers. I don't know what the size of their audiences were, but there were 3 folks that took it onto their show and started to promote it. Ashley Lasser, 42 years old, Taylor Cannon, and Lindley Hutchinson. And 2 are sisters, and they run what's called the Buy Guide, an e-commerce blog and Instagram account. And once they started featuring them, they went off the charts.
Wow.
So I'm wondering does anyone in the chat have a Stanley tumbler?
Yeah, interesting. I personally, I'm a Yeti guy.
Yeti.
But, yeah. What's the? Well, no, actually, no. I take that back. Whatever the plastic brand that the clear bottles that have all the logos on it. What the heck is the name of it?
It's not
Tervis. I'm a Tervis guy.
Tervis.
Sorry. Yeah. They're not as effective as Yetis, but I definitely am interested in this. But I already have like 100 tumblers from all the, little tchotchke gifts that I get. And they don't sell at garage sales either.
And they literally, people are buying multiple colors as they come out. So it's really fascinating, the consumer behavior behind it, right? But once again, you get a dedicated, passionate audience on product or service, and you treat them right, and you got them, right?
Jose, what's going on in the chat?
Yeah, just wanted to give feedback on Sean. It is the same company that sells the tools and the one that sells the tumbler. So there you have it. Diversity. Len Punta says I'll have to buy a new kitchen cabinet for another tumbler collection. Because we all have to do that. We have Stanley thermoses in the houses that do it. So much for the logos doing any good. Simplicity always wins.
That's
interesting.
Right. Brilliant.
Interesting. Okay, here's another great idea. How about instead of buying from Amazon, we buy from a company called The Rounds, which is a household restocking service. It's an alternative to Prime that has no annual fee, no packaging or waste, because they actually take the box right from you when they deliver it. So really, really interesting concept here. It's called The Rounds, and it has landed on a solution to make online commerce more efficient, more eco-friendly, and it's basically a system where online goods aren't just delivered to the consumers, but their empty containers are also picked back up at the same time. Later on top of this are regularly scheduled deliveries designed to restock basic household needs, from cleaning supplies to personal care items and stuff that you need. So good luck to them. It really would be nice to not, there was a time that I had stacks of Amazon boxes in my garage just waiting for Christmas, right? Yes, I'm part of the problem with that because I keep ordering from Amazon, but that's a lot of waste for sure.
And Lee, I'm so mad because I literally had everyone. Oh, that was my idea. Yeah, well, I had thought of this. I wanted to call it uncased, and it wasn't going to be a delivery. You were going to go to a store with liquid for like shampoo and other liquid items in your home, and you'd go with like a glass jar, and you just go there and fill it up every time you needed a refill.
That's awesome.
Clearly I failed to act. Damn it!
I know, you got to activate those ideas, man. No bad idea, just bad timing.
Right.
All right, go blow it out your turbine.
So the continued evolution, right, of alternative energy, but there's obviously a lot of issues with the giant wind turbines and giant windmills and conservation and animals, so on and so forth. So this is an evolution, kind of like taking the Dyson fan, which I love, that has
Yeah.
no turbines in it.
Yep.
This is now commercial sized. So it is a turbine-less wind generator, and it can they mount them on the tops of buildings, so it's a lot smaller, but the one wind turbine can generate the same amount of power as 16 solar panels.
Oh, cool.
But just continued evolution here, right, of how to harness energy from natural resources. And it can actually generate power from winds as low as 5 miles per hour.
Wow.
Pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Yep. Pretty interesting.
Love it.
So,
Love it.
Guys, did we actually talk about this in one of our previous reports? I was just looking on the internet and it came to me that there's a roadside turbines which actually take advantage of the speed of the cars, and you just put them in between the lines. So then every time someone just passes, the turbines react to the wind passing
cool.
by, and it's just like amazing. I think we talked about this in one of our
Yeah,
previous
it sounds
reports.
really familiar. Definitely familiar.
Yeah.
cool. Look at us. We really are finding some trends, aren't we?
I know.
Man.
Stick
We're not just
around.
three guys in basements.
You guys could say you heard it here. You definitely heard it here.
That's right.
All right.
You heard it first.
Here's one thing that should have been invented a long time ago. Would have saved a bunch of people money and saved the earth. This is in the fashion and beauty category. It's a technology company, material technology called Petit Pli. They won Amazon's annual Innovation Awards. It's basically pleated clothing designs made from recycled plastic that can grow 7 sizes as your child grows. So this is great. No more having to borrow and trade clothes with your friends who have kids that are older and stuff like that. The brands pre-designed are all made from recycled plastics, and its children's garments basically grow up 7 sizes. Initially started to reduce textile waste in the children's wear segment of the fashion industry. The company has recently expanded into adult sizes. So will it grow as my belly grows? That's even cooler too. Or shrink as it gets smaller in these particular days. So that's awesome.
Well, and what have we seen here? Right, 2 stories of the evolution of the fashion industry. Right?
Yeah.
It can be reinvented, and it's going to continue to be reinvented.
I love it. Yeah, thinking about it differently, it just seems like that would have come out sooner, though, with people getting frustrated with always having to, because you buy all the stuff for, 2T, and then all of a sudden they're 3T in a matter of weeks,
Right. Well, and the other part of this, too, is it talks about the durability. So based on the material, right, it's, I don't know that anything's tougher than Sears Tough Skins from the 70s, right? I think those things were actually chemically toxic, but
along with their Stretch G.I. Joe.
There you
or
go.
whatever. Mr. Stretch, whatever his name was.
That's right.
I think this also talks about how companies focus on children and how they can work towards that target and then just move it along and use it for adults nowadays. So they started with children because they grow up faster, but then they realize, like, hey, why can't we just make it bigger so that actually adults can also use it? So there you have it. Think of children first, and then you have it all.
Yeah. Plus, who wouldn't want to look as disco as these kids do right now? Come on.
The swag on them is just
even though little man, I don't think he likes it.
Yeah, he's not real happy about it at the moment, but we'll get him there.
All
right.
to wear the tough skins.
Okay, we got a feel good one to close out today. Super great, Sean. What? I mean, I know what caught your eye about this because it's just impressive. But whenever you think the world is a horrible place, you just need to watch a video like this, and you'll realize that there are some really great people, and some of them are not adults. You know?
That's right, and our future leaders are out there. Right?
Yeah, yeah, they are.
Good-hearted future leaders are out there.
All right, let's check out this adorable video. Here we go.
No, there's a bowl. With, except it's all gone.
I like how they lean over it just in case it's not a practical joke.
Still, though, I mean,
There you
wow.
have it.
That is really, really, really great. Really awesome. Also, that report was awesome, Sean. Thanks so much for putting it together.
Bet, guys.
It was great. Jose, thank you very much. I hear you're actually in the States now, huh?
I am actually. I'm in Florida, so can't wait to meet you guys.
Yeah.
Maybe we can do something cool for next month.
Yeah, sooner than sooner than 2115, right, Sean?
Well, I'm a little busy till then, but I'll see if I can carve something out. Maybe 2089.
Yeah.
But I do think I think for fun we should just put like an ankle tracker on Jose, and we'll just have a map on our website. Everybody can see where he is at any given time.
Exactly.
So we'll talk about that. We'll talk more about that.
All right, you all. Thank you so much for joining us. Again, we will put the link tree in the chat so you can check out all the articles. Please make sure you forward it to anybody who you think could benefit from it. And we hope to see you at our next one. We're actually going to move it to December 9th in December. So it won't be the first Friday. It'll be on December 9th. And we will see you all then. Hopefully you all
love getting all your stories, right? Don't be afraid. Keep sending us stuff. brainstorminabox@gmail.com. We'd love to feature what you find.
Excellent. All right, fellas. Have a great weekend. We'll see you all soon. Thank you. Thank you.
Bye,
Thanks,
guys.
everybody.